What's up, ScrubHub? Welcome to another episode of ScrubHub GameClub. Today we're doing a shorts episode. What are we talking about, Doc? Oh my god.
I was just looking, staring the whole time.
Dude, I thought you were a statue for a moment. Please don't do that. It's kind of scary.
Okay, it's shorts episode where we talk about one game in one episode. And I'm Doc Bishop.
And I'm Pants. Usually, I was gonna say it's usually ironically longer than our other episodes.
Usually it is. We're trying to get to where they're not so much.
Sweet spot. Get you the info.
But today we're talking about a game that came out on the PS2, a game that came out in 2002, and like you pointed out last time, you've already seen the title, so you already know.
Yeah, you know what we're playing.
We're talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Woo! Or should I say, ho ho, like Mickey? Does he do that?
I
this
know.
Mickey's laugh?
I don't think he does in the entire game.
Maybe not in Kingdom Hearts, but he's definitely laughed.
I mean, I don't know.
What's Mickey's laugh sound like?
I've
always thought that.
Who is makes me think of
Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah. What's his name? What's his name?
What, the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah. His name is
Oh, does he have a name?
Yeah, he does. It's don't remember. Anyway, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts it came out in 2002. I can't believe it's been that long.
I was 7.
Man.
I was 7 years old.
I was 14. Probably, yeah, around there.
I feel like those are both probably really appropriate ages to get into the game too.
And so at that point, it was already for me. So I fell in love with Kingdom Hearts for a couple reasons. One, it's like an action RPG style game, right?
Right, totally.
So it's not your traditional RPG, but on top of that, it mixed Disney stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
cool rad. Disney. At that point, I think at that age, I'm kind of like, oh shoot, what Disney are you watching? You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're 14.
Yeah, so that's weird, but it was a nice callback to childhood. But the kicker that got me really into it was Final Fantasy.
Totally, yeah, for sure.
So it's this Square Enix, then Squaresoft hybrid of Disney Final Fantasy characters in an action style RPG where you play as Sora, this kid who had two friends. They lived on this island, and the island basically got attacked by darkness.
Yeah, it's entirely consumed.
What we later find out to be called Heartless gets consumed. They all get sent off in kind of their own directions into these worlds, which are all these worlds are being boom, 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 boom.
Specifically, they're connected now.
They're connected. They're being absorbed by darkness and being obliterated. There's stars in the sky, and the stars are going out because these worlds are ceasing to exist.
Right. And
the remainders of the people are coming to different places. In this case, Sora, the main character, wakes up in Traverse Town, which is a remainder of people left over from their worlds. Which is why you have the different Final Fantasy characters. Like Squall, he's called Leon. And
which is interesting because I played Kingdom Hearts first prior to playing the Final Fantasy games that introduced those characters. I've always known him as Leon. So when I talk to other people, they're like, "You're not a Final Fantasy person, are you?" And I'm
because immediately you're like, "Oh, it's Squall," and people are like, "Who's Squall?" Squall. Do you know his last name?
I feel like I've seen it or I've heard it, but like I said, I had never delved too deep into those games.
It's Leonhardt.
That's what it is. Okay. So is that why he gets called Leon?
He takes Leon from his last name.
And that's why his stuff has the heart or the lions and stuff on it, right? Because I've seen those buckles.
Maybe. I think that might be a playoff of
that's
his
probably
name
just
or
a terrible
I
non-Final
think
Fantasy person connection.
Oh shoot, what's her name? The girl from no, not Yuffie. I was thinking of
Tifa.
No. The girl from Final Fantasy VIII. I think her last name was Hart something too.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Kingdom Hearts.
so Squall's there, Yuffie's there. I believe you learn that Cid's there. Aerith is there. So boom, you have a really cool cast of Final Fantasy characters. Cloud, Sephiroth are in the game at some point.
And prior to even meeting those characters, you're actually... There's a little cutscene where you see some of the Disney people, but when you're in Traverse Town, you actually get woken up by Pluto. Which is really cute.
So we've got Pluto. We know Mickey's in there. Goofy and Donald are your teammates the entire game. And then, so what's super cool...
Dude, I just constantly hear fucking Donald's voice just screaming Sora over and over again.
I don't even know what that sound was.
It's Sora! He's got that, like, raspy...
Oh my god, I can't do Donald Duck.
Oh my!
That's the best.
That's gonna be the thing at the beginning beat of our fucking podcast. Oh god.
So Sora wakes up in Traverse Town. Is met with all these people. He has this weapon called the Keyblade, which is special to him. And
as far as you know,
ultimately, Donald and Goofy are on a mission from King Mickey to find the person with the key. They all meet up. Boom. Now they have it. Sora's looking for his friends, Kairi and Riku. And then the story just kind of evolves over time after that. You know,
there's layers.
Yeah. So that's the basic thing. Sora's in a world looking for his friends. Donald and Goofy looking for the key to help King Mickey, who is somewhere. We later find out Kairi's somewhere, Riku's somewhere. Sora has the key, and his job is to now travel to these different worlds that are connected but are separate. The game establishes all the levels in worlds and different Disney movies.
Right. So
I think some of the first ones we go to are like Aladdin.
No,
I think that's one of the first ones.
I think it's like one of the first three, because the first one I know that I went to was
you have a choice. You split.
Yeah, you can go left or right.
Probably Alice in Wonderland.
It's Alice in Wonderland is the first one.
So there's Alice in Wonderland.
And then you have the jungle, right?
Tarzan. Yep, the Tarzan jungle. Aladdin's in there. I think it's just easier to kind of go down the list. Hercules Coliseum's in there.
Yep. You eventually get to go to Atlantis.
Atlantis from Little Mermaid. There's also
Halloween Town.
That's true. Halloween Town and Christmas Town, I believe.
Yeah.
You eventually go back.
Super cool.
Man, just like thinking of all these different levels was super cool. And trying not... So we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 1. So we're not going to talk about the entirety of Kingdom Hearts story, just Kingdom Hearts 1.
Right.
So I'm trying not to mix them up.
Yeah, not to like be too meta or anything, but obviously you guys are watching this episode in 2022. Kingdom Hearts 3 just got released a couple years ago, so clearly there's a ton of story to go into this.
Tons of story. So we're going to dive into Kingdom Hearts 1, just talk about it and what it was and what we remember. I'm just trying to think of the levels. I feel like there was something else I'm completely forgetting.
Well, you eventually... well, the funny thing is you actually see... You get to go to King Mickey's castle at one point in this game, right? Or do you just see cutscenes of it?
So you just see cutscenes at the beginning because that's where Donald and Goofy are,
that's
and
right.
You see cutscenes at the end. You don't actually go to Disney Castle in this game, I believe. I do think you go in the second game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
For sure. Beast, Beauty and the
Halabastion.
Beast.
Oh, yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Beast Mansion.
No. That's the second one.
Is that the second one?
Yeah, you go to Hollow Bastion, which does have Beast in it. So ultimately, I'm trying to think. You have all these. The princesses are captured. You find out they're the princesses of light. So you have like Jasmine, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Cinderella. Sleeping Beauty is Aurora. Kairi, you find out, is one of those princesses of light. I feel like I'm missing one more.
I do too. Alice.
Alice was the other one, yeah. So that should be 7. And so those are the different worlds. Sora is sealing these worlds. He finds out about the Princesses of Light. And they're trying to access this place called, get ready for this, Kingdom Hearts.
Crazy sauce.
So you deal with like Maleficent and
Ursula.
Pretty much all the baddies. The Queen of Hearts. Jafar from Aladdin.
Yeah, dude. Jafar's probably my favorite villain.
Man.
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie.
Actually, I'm sorry.
Oh!
Oogie Boogie is probably my
Oogie
favorite
Boogie's
villain.
so good.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of cool, just Disney stuff just slammed in there. All kinds of levels. We did say like Tarzan, which isn't in any other Kingdom Hearts games, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, because I really liked that area. Granted, it had maybe potentially one of the most annoying.
The invisible iguana.
Yeah, dude. Maybe the most annoying boss on Proud Mode for sure.
So the game has tons of bosses, tons of levels, it mixes lots of cool like magic and stuff from the Final Fantasy games, your items like potions and stuff to heal yourself while going across, which we were talking about this earlier and kind of going over this game again. And the game is really straightforward.
It is. The
one
story is very
specifically,
linear.
You're a good guy, separated from your friends, trying to find your friends, find out that the girlfriend, Kyrie, she's not really his girlfriend, but like
Love interest.
She's a princess of heart and has been captured, and her heart is used to open this doorway to Kingdom Hearts. Your best friend Riku has gone down the dark path, trying to do the exact same thing
that you're doing. He just is building this like the negative side of resentment and
right. And you're all then culminating to like one part where you find the main bad guy, Ansem, right? The seeker of darkness, the person looking for Kingdom of Hearts, looking for Kingdom Hearts, trying to get Kingdom of Hearts. He's ultimately the person who released the Heartless in the first place, gathering people's hearts.
Who's the leader of Hollow Bastion, which is where all the Final Fantasy people came from.
Spoilers, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 1.
No, you know that.
Not in Kingdom Hearts 1, I don't think.
Are you sure? No, because it's got a different name, if you remember correctly.
Right.
And Kingdom Hearts 2 is where they actually delve into all that, like deeper, but they do know that they came from this place. I was pretty sure.
I don't think so. I don't think so in the first game. I think that's in the second one.
Is that? See, and that's the... I apologize if I've just broke spoilers or continuity or anything like that, but it's hard with this game after playing.
Like, after playing all of the Kingdom Hearts games, so much of it's
I should note that I haven't played the third one.
Right, and we're going to play the third one here soon. So, I mean, spoilers, but we're going to talk about the second game.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the third game. And then we might, I think, maybe talk about the side games all at once.
We could probably do that. It would likely end up being a longer video.
Or maybe, like, talk about some of them, like maybe the 3DS, DS games, and then talk about the PSP game and stuff in two separate.
Yeah.
Kind of like break them down and stuff. There's tons of stuff to
I was gonna say, to follow up on my potential mistake, because I'm not really sure off the top of my head, but there's just so much to this game and like the story. Like, maybe not just, you might, if you've never played Kingdom Hearts before, you may play Kingdom Hearts 1 and be like, wow, that was pretty, it was good.
Kingdom Hearts 1
story.
is great. And the story's fine.
It's awesome. Yeah, and you're like, that was pretty good, but I wonder if there's more to this.
There is.
Oh, buddy.
I think there's 14 games in the franchise.
And every single game, I feel like, for the most part, they have like a mobile game too that also contributes to the story. Exactly.
It's four mobile games.
Oh my god! But each new game actually contributes a significant amount to the story. Like,
oh yeah,
and it all makes sense.
And that's kind of like one of the problems, right? So we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 1. So ultimately, Sora finds the princesses, stops the princesses. Riku is saved by King Mickey, but they're inside the door of darkness. Sora's on the other side. They simultaneously close the door. They defeat Ansem, and the worlds go back to normal, closing themselves back off.
Right.
And basically erasing memories, which you find out later in a different game. Their memories are erased from, because now they're closed off. They're back in their own bubbles. They don't know the other worlds exist.
Except for the few individuals that were left at the door after it was closed.
Right. So there's
like
few
Mickey,
things.
Goofy, Sora, Riku.
Anyone who's not
Kyrie.
basically anyone who's not in their proper world, right?
Yeah.
So there are rules that encompass all that. So the door's closed. Ansem's defeated. Other things transpire. I think. Sora then decides Riku and Mickey are in the darkness.
Yeah,
the
they got
realm of
locked
darkness.
in.
And now Sora's like, hey, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are like, we need to save Mickey and save Riku.
Yeah.
And that's what we're gonna do. And that goes into the next games.
You have a very sweet goodbye with Kyrie at the end because she goes back.
She goes back to
her home.
To their world. Yep.
And again, like you said, it's very interesting because it seems almost as if there's a calling to the three of them because now Sora, Donald, and Goofy are now meant. They didn't go back, so they're meant to go on this journey. So you see this cut scene of them like running off into the horizon. So
that was us saying each game adds its own part to the story. We're not going to talk about them all, but one of the biggest problems about the Kingdom Hearts franchise is that you had Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PS2, Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PS2, and then we didn't get Kingdom Hearts 3 for a very, very long time. And anyone who's just played the games are like, oh, cool, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, by the time you get to these other games, you find out there's tons of other games on other systems. And until recently, until a couple of years ago, you couldn't play these games. If you didn't have a 3DS, you couldn't play 358 over 2 days. You couldn't play Dream Drop Distance, which is honestly Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's like a core game.
It is a core game of the story. Like it is Kingdom Hearts 2 goes into Dream Drop Distance, and Dream Drop Distance goes immediately into Kingdom Hearts 3. They're separated. Man. They're separated by 5 minutes, maybe.
That's crazy.
Like what happens at the end of Dream Drop is the very beginning of 3. So a lot of people kind of got a sour taste in their mouth for that.
And that's wild because like for a franchise to like really divvy up their games, and not only just their games, but their story. Their story was actually locked behind a console wall.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's what caused a lot of the...
I wonder what happened there. I wonder what that was about.
So, man, I don't know. The director, because that's just how he is.
The director for
King Hearts.
He's just the charge. He's just like, we're going to spread this shit thin.
So, the writer. So you get behind these weird things. So people go into Kingdom Hearts 2, for example, and they're like, okay, cool. And they're like, but wait, what?
What happened? There's a lot missing.
And then you find out that there's 2 other games.
In between. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Chain of Memories and 358 over 2.
Yep. They also had the, not really super important to note, but the one time that I think they tried to bring games into different areas so multiple people could play them is they did the Chain of Memories, right?
Chain of Memories was taking the Game Boy Advanced game and putting it on the PS2,
right?
Which is a phenomenal. If you're like, oh man, I loved Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, but you never played Chain of Memories on the PS2, play it. Like, I love the game. We'll talk about that in the future too, I'm sure.
Totally, yeah.
It's one of my favorite.
Super interesting.
It's one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games.
Which is crazy, yeah.
So there were 2 games in between, which was pretty crazy. Then between 2 and 3, there's like 5 games.
It's a lot.
And
it's a lot of games.
So there's just, and that's what I'm saying. So most people that only played on PlayStation, they're missing out on other games that they didn't have access to.
Yeah, and admittedly, the games aren't always as like RPG-esque as like the main core PlayStation games. Like for example, Chain of Memories, it's like it has that card system. Like
it does.
Not to go too far into it, but you said specifically that Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG. Therefore, you can move around. You clearly have your Keyblade. You got spells. You can jump around. All this stuff. It's not all of the games that I think were on like the 3DS and stuff were.
Chain of Memories was the only one that's weird.
Was it really? Because I remember
the 3DS was played like in the same engine and stuff. It's just on 3DS.
Well, there was a weird mechanic that I remember with your command box. It was strange because I remember downloading the demo for it when I had a 3DS for the short period of time I had it.
Oh, in 358?
Yeah, I think there was. I equipped skills and stuff into like a box. It was super weird. That's how
you got your abilities and stuff. But the game still played like a Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh yeah, you was still like open world, running, jumping around and stuff like that. But the command box taking away like the ability to just do simple attacks.
Yeah, stuff like that was weird.
Yeah,
and it extended it, and you just plug stuff in. It was fascinating. It was really interesting.
It was probably mega intuitive.
It's also one of the 2 games that. So okay, before I get into that, Kingdom Hearts came out in 2002. Kingdom Hearts had a final mix variant, which was the Japanese version on the PS2. And then we got final mix when we got Kingdom Hearts 1.5 in 2017.
Dude, I didn't even know that until you just said that. I didn't know that Japan had got the final mix on PS2.
Yeah, that was their
way
version.
back in the day.
That was their version.
Oh, so they just got the completed version. Like, they just got the final mix
Yeah.
version.
Japan had the final mix version.
I see. That makes sense.
We didn't get that unless you had a Japanese PS2
console, yeah.
and you had the game. So we got final mix in 2017, I think, on the PS3.
Yeah.
PS3, PS4.
They eventually put it out on
which was the completed game, which has a couple added cutscenes. And then also had some additional abilities like Keyblade abilities. I think maybe some magic.
Some of them were modified too and adjusted.
Stuff was just adjusted differently. There was an extended secret ending to the game.
The deep dive.
But nothing really crazy in the first game. That's pretty much it. They changed some fonts and stuff in the intros.
Because the fucking data got lost.
Well, that's the final mix. Well, the final mix has all that stuff as well.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I believe. The PS2, maybe not. That one I'm not. But yeah, there was data loss when it got ported to the PS3, and we got like Kingdom Hearts 1.5 on the PS3. It wasn't just upscaled; it was rebuilt.
Yeah. Which you love. You gotta love that.
So I say all this. So there's all these different consoles, but now we have like the 1.5 and 2.5 editions and the all-in-one story, which actually pull the games together onto one console. So like we got 1.5, which also came with Chain of Memories and 358 over 2 days and Kingdom Hearts 1 final mix. And I think that was it. And then Kingdom Hearts 2.5 had Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix plus, which is just final mix. I want to say it had Birth by Sleep. It had Recoded. And Dream Drop Distance.
Gotcha. And then way after that, they did the 2-pack where they had everything.
Had everything.
The 1.5 and the 2.5, which is...
With the 2.8.
How many times have you bought this game? Like, really? Yeah, that's the guilty question.
Every time.
Yeah. Where are they?
So I actually don't think I have all the PS2 games. The PS2 games are over there. I know I've bought them. I may not have them all anymore. So I've bought them multiple times. And then I have the PS4. I bought them when they were the 1.5 and 2.5 individually.
Yeah.
And the all-in-one, which is another purchase. And then Kingdom Hearts 3. So yeah, several times. I've played them all.
It's so worth it, man. It's so worth it. I think for certain games to just like have every version of it coming out. Because the one thing for me with Kingdom Hearts is I love the arts. Like the visual arts that they make for like the characters and stuff.
Which changes from game to game too, which is really neat.
It's really
It actually
cool.
feels like it's like Sora's growing and well, technically he does.
I mean, yeah, he gets taller, and you guys will find out in later games and later episodes that he actually gets a change of clothes here and there.
So,
new duds. I'm sorry, that's what Goofy calls it.
It's super funny because I think there's 2 years that transpire from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, so when you start up the next game, he's like, man, these fucking pants don't fit me. And they're like riding up his thigh. It's so good.
It's so funny. So Kingdom Hearts 1 is great. I love the game. They're just good memories. I don't know that I have anything necessarily bad to say about the game.
It's just, this is something that is just a thing that happens with older games and whatnot. Especially having gone from playing the old ones, which we grew up on, and then playing the new ones. Companies really love jumping on quality of life things, which as gamers, you know, that we'll eat that shit up. So initially on the PS2, the controls weren't immaculate, but and I should say there was just certain scenarios with certain boss fights. The Maleficent fight in particular, I think it was just sometimes it was super hard. There was a lot of AoE things going on, and I don't know, the controls
She was
sometimes.
very specific. You're talking like the dragon where
The
you had
dragon
like,
one,
didn't
yeah.
you have to run up the dragon?
No, you
Or you ran upstairs?
no, you fight in a big room.
I also may be thinking of a different Maleficent fight.
So you go. It's
'Cause-
right before you do the fight with Riku.
Yeah,
at the
I
end.
know what you're talking about, but I thought you could run up and do something
I don't think so because
in that room, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, continue.
maybe you could, but that fight in particular was just a little clunky. And also it kind of like the controllers weren't great either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You have a kind of the PS2 controllers are fine.
They're
You
pretty.
have a
they're
disdain
okay.
for the PS3 controllers.
I do have a massive disdain for the PS3 controllers.
Good thing 1.5 got ported to the PS4.
That's right. Dude, and the friggin' new controllers, the PS4 controllers, and the
Dude,
PS5.
So I went back. Me and the wife were playing a game. We were playing Overcooked, where you're like this like chef guy, like whatever.
That's cute.
And we were playing that yesterday, and it was on PS4. So I play PS5, so I had to go back to a PS4 controller. Still super comfy. I love
Nice.
this. They're still good controllers.
Dude, and I'm a whore for a nice controller, man. Like,
So
yeah.
it was really nice.
But going back to it, I would say that was just one thing about it. It was the first time they had put it out, and it was on the PS2. The controllers weren't that great, but compared to other games that were coming out that time, that game was fucking premium, dude.
Yeah,
It felt immaculate.
and it only got better. It only got better with Kingdom Hearts 2,
I agree.
which we're going to talk about in the near future as
Totally.
well. It may actually be next time.
It could, because I'm on a kick, man. I've been really
So-
liking the Kingdom Hearts.
So we're loving Kingdom Hearts. We love Kingdom Hearts. We've been playing them, replaying them. Anything else you want to say? Like, we might actually do a shorts.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's actually.
I mean, we
pretty
pretty
wild.
much just talked about this game and nothing crazy about it. Just kind of capping the story, which we'll dive more into for sure as we approach the other games.
Right, and I think that as we get later,
In kind of a review-ish, because we can't just dive into the entire story.
It'll be too difficult. But I don't know. I would say that if you've never played Kingdom Hearts before and you're listening to us talk about it, and you're like, "What the hell is this thing with the Final Fantasy characters and the Disney people?" And
We're ramping up for Pants to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
yeah, that's right. But if you're hearing all this and you're like, "This sounds really funky," I don't get it. Just play it. Just
play
don't think about it. Don't say anything. Get it from a friend. I know you've got. I know if you are watching this podcast, it's because you like video games in some form. You've got a friend that's got Kingdom Hearts.
You've got a
Friend in me. That's way too meta, bro. That's way too meta. That's like the future.
But Toy Story isn't in Kingdom Hearts 1. It's not. It's not.
It's not Kingdom Hearts 1. But no, I don't really have anything to do. I think it's just a super solid game. Every person needs to play.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 is really good. And my favorite Kingdom Hearts game is Kingdom Hearts 2, probably.
I agree. Granted,
Because
I haven't played a ton of them.
it took everything from the first one and went into that. So I'm super stoked to get into that one next time. So I think we're going to sign off now. And we'll talk about Kingdom Hearts 2 in the near future. Where can they find you?
You can find me at NevrEndingPants, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. Instagram. Never without the second E.
Yeah, because you always say that. And you guys can find me at RX_Bishop_MD at all the socials and Twitch and YouTube and all that jazz.
That's right. Now,
from one
do we have to-
Keyblade
yeah.
wielder to another. If you're not good. Oh no! We still have time. That's just our timer. If you're not good.
get good.